Hello, my name's Adriana. I'm a Mako librarian with LA County Library. And today I'll be showing you how to create your very own garden using mason jars. To do this activity, you will need the following materials. A mason jar, and we'll talk more in detail about the different types of containers. The root of a vegetable, and we're also going to talk about the different vegetables you can use. And water. What I like about mason jars is that you can customize it to your own lifestyle. You can choose the size, the quantity, even the type of vegetables. So what is a mason jar veggie garden? The idea is to take a root of a vegetable, like the roots of a green onion, and letting it regrow in water. And you're using mason jar containers or glass jars. But why regrow from scrap? Now, there are a lot of benefits from growing from scrap, and here are just a few. First, it's easy to do, but it's also customizable. As I mentioned before, you can fit your veggie garden to your lifestyle or home. As you can see on my shelf space, I am able to regrow romaine lettuce, green onions, and that is enough for me. It is also low in cost or free. When you think about it, the containers you have at home, you can repurpose them, or mugs that you already have. Think about materials you already have at home. This also means you are saving money, especially if you buy organic. You can regrow organic vegetables. This also means you're increasing your food supply, and you have access to fresh vegetables. And of course, you are reducing food waste. Now let's take a look at different types of containers you can use, not just mason jars. When choosing your mason jar, there are a variety of mason jars when it comes to size and shape, but you're really going to look at the type of vegetable you have. So if you have a green onion, you want something that's going to support the shoots of your vegetables. You can also use plastic jars like your peanut butter and fruits. It doesn't necessarily have to be made out of glass. But you can also consider mugs or bowls, because these also work great for romaine lettuce because they have a wider bottom. So when you're choosing your container, you want to consider the type of vegetable you're using as well. Now let's take a look at the list of different vegetables that you can grow in your mason jar veggie garden. Here's a list of a few vegetables to consider. Check the description box for a link with the vegetables, with more information on how to regrow each one. It will have information on how much water, sun exposure, and the type of bowl you may need. And if you want to consider a transplant from a mason jar to a soil base, it has that information too. Please check the description box for additional information. But here's some vegetables to consider. Green onions, romaine lettuce, iceberg lettuce, celery, garlic chives, carrot greens, not the orange part, bok choy, cabbage, fennel, leeks, or lemongrass. Just remember to keep the root intact. As I mentioned before, a benefit to having a mason jar veggie garden is having access to it. But what I also enjoy about it is that it grows pretty quickly. So I made a 14-day observation, and so let's take a look at that growth rate. At the end of the day, on day 1, I can already see some growth from my green onions. And on the next day, the green onion shoots were far more visible. But it's not the same for romaine lettuce. Romaine lettuce grows slower, and we'll talk about that more in the next few days. On day 4, the green onions are growing fast. The lettuce takes more time, but you start to notice some growth at the middle of the vegetable. On day 7, the green onions are ready to harvest, and I'm going to cut just below the green part of the onion so it can regrow. On this day, the lettuce is finally showing some leaves. but it needs more time. Day 8, the green onions are continuing to grow, and on day 14, I can harvest again. But for the romaine lettuce, it needs more time, but it's starting to show more leaf. It takes a little longer for each vegetable, but don't forget to check out in the description box for the resources that we'll have available for you. For the romaine lettuce, it takes about 2 to 3 weeks to fully grow, but each vegetable is going to have a different growth rate. So I recommend keeping track. On our next slide, you'll see I have an image of my bullet journal. This is a great way to keep track of what has been planted or when it has sprouted. You can add other additional information like when it was harvested, when you watered it, or if it needed to be discarded. One of the issues with regrowing scraps in water is the texture of the vegetable sometimes changes to a translucent, or it can get moldy. So keeping track of the water is important, but also keeping track of the look. So keeping track of the growth of your vegetable is important. And you can do this either by bullet journal, or you can write it in a journal. You can take pictures. It is all up to you. The next few slides are images of my mason jar veggie garden. As you can see, I had more space, so I was able to allow for more vegetables. But then I changed to a smaller space, and now it's only a few vegetables, but it's a lot more manageable and it fits. I hope you enjoyed this way of gardening. And if you want to discover other hobbies or learn more about gardening, please visit our website for various online courses, including Universal Class, where you can find various topics from business, writing, or hobbies that include baking, cooking, and of course, gardening, but so much more. Please take a moment to fill out a survey in the description box. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Bye everyone.